when you're on a path to pursue your goals and you're on a path to try and better your life, you'll get this initial high, this buzz where you feel so focused, you feel so on the ball. You're going to the gym for hours, you're meditating, you're gratitude journaling, you're doing this, you're doing that, you're doing all the good habits. But there will inevitably be a point where you will start to dip to your baseline. Hedonic adaptation is what it's called. It's when you have a spike in your dopamine, you have a spike in your system where you want to just be on the ball, you want to be on it, and then you hedonically adapt back to your baseline. You go back to your baseline. Which is why they say that, when you think about cars and houses and this and that. I was looking at a picture of, I was looking in my photo gallery recently, and I used to have an Audi A3 S-Line. It looked like a black edition, like beautiful car, the first car I ever bought with my own money. Tinted out windows, like amazing alloys, black on black. It looked like a drug dealer's car, I can't lie, but I've never dealt drugs like that in my life. So yeah, it was an amazing car. It was my pride and joy. And I was looking back at it. I sold it a few months ago. I was looking back at the pictures and I was like, wow, this car was beautiful, man. But that car, it gave me a spike in my dopamine, right? Like every materialistic thing does. But eventually, if you're not happy before you bought that car, if I wasn't happy in a state of happiness before I bought that car, as soon as like a few weeks had passed and the novelty's worn off, my baseline would dip and I'd be sad again. So the key is to really find happiness in the moment, in this moment, right now, in the present. Find happiness in this moment, and then when you have the car, then when you buy the house, then when you have all these assets and all these materialistic things, you'll maybe get an increase in happiness. But when you go back to baseline, your baseline's so high anyway, or it will like eventually just increase. Think of it like this. I've put water in this glass, and the more dopamine I'm putting into it, the more dopamine I'm gaining in it. Eventually, like my baseline, if it's like halfway, right, it will start to increase slowly but surely. The happier I get, slowly but surely, my baseline will increase. So being present and being happy in the moment is key. However, it's very important to know that you do have this dip in self-improvement. You do definitely have this dip in life. Generally, I think it's normal to have days where you do feel a bit depleted, a bit down. And it's about recovering, about rejuvenating. Can we be happy 24/7? Like, can we be... I don't know, honestly. I don't think we can. I think it's very natural for us to feel low at times. And maybe it's just a case of like lifting your baseline, right? Maybe it's just a case of like increasing in your baseline. But being happy now is what takes precedence. Like, we must be happy in the present. So it's an interesting concept, of course, and I think it's normal. Like I said, in moments where you do feel sad, I think it's just about reminding yourself that you will pass through those emotions eventually. And that's the hardest thing to do. It's so easy to sit here and talk about, oh, you're going to pass through the emotions, just don't let your emotions control you. But you say that to someone, like you experience that, and you understand how difficult it is when you're feeling low to just even know that you're going to pass through that moment. But you are going to pass through that moment. That's all it's about. Understanding, and that's where meditation comes into play. Understanding that you are going to pass through these emotions don't control you. They don't control you. You control your emotions. And it's about reaffirming that belief again, time in, time out, like again and again and again. Reaffirming that you are going to pass through these emotions. You are going to get through the other side. And you will make it out feeling okay. Maybe not today, maybe tomorrow, maybe the day after, maybe in a couple of hours. But you will pass through those emotions. That's where good company is really important. It's so difficult to trust people now. And it's very difficult to be 100% authentic with everybody because of the way society has just programmed everyone, and the way social media's programmed everyone to judge each other. I was speaking to someone yesterday, and they asked me a question about like designer brands, and I gave them my opinion. And then they were like, "Oh, when I see someone on a Ryanair budget flight wearing a Tommy Hilfiger shirt and like having like a, I don't know what bag she mentioned, like some Armani bag or something," and she was like, "Oh yeah, I judge that person. Like, I think, oh, how are you on a budget flight when you're wearing those designer items?" But I mean, what? Who cares? Like, who cares what you wear? Yeah, things can be tacky and stuff. I understand designer brands, like generally some of them, the way people rock them, they just look tacky. But that's about you as a person to present yourself as being classy as well. But the point of saying that was, stop being an armchair critic. I'm trying this myself as well. It's very difficult not to be. But being an armchair critic doesn't take you far, and it's just about reaffirming that instead of criticizing, appreciate that everyone has their own taste, everyone has their own opinions, everyone has their own understanding in life. Let them be. Honestly, let people be. Live and let live, bro. Like, that's the main lesson that we should all, like, if we could glue it on our head, write it or whatever, tattoo it. Live and let live. Really, that should be your motto, man. It really upsets me when people constrict other people, they confine other people. They don't let people live. They're so judgmental. Let people live, for God's sake. Like, no one's affecting you. No one's harming you. Stop being so judgmental and having this religious superiority complex, or this narcissistic ego complex, or this self-improvement narcissism, which is such a good topic actually that I'm going to make a video about. So yeah, it's okay to feel down, it's okay to feel sad. You're going to get through it. You really are. Smile, man. That'll make you happier than you already are. Like, just smile. Have a good day, and I'll see you on the next video. Goodbye.